Okay. We are back on digital right now. We are back on WFAA Plus. Okay. Cassie, go ahead and give folks a quick update here on just exactly what you're seeing behind the scenes there. I know you've been doing an analysis.
Yeah, we've been checking out what's kind of going on behind here. And what you're looking at right now is the tornado warning. And we've got a new tornado warning. It's actually really going to be, it's for the same storm. It's just going to be extended into parts of, I believe it's going to be, Parker County. So it's going to be for Hood, Parker, and Palo Pinto County. So we're going to keep this storm going. It's showing no signs of dying by any means. It definitely has some rotation with it. And the part of the storm that we're really paying very close attention to, it's going to be just west of Highway 281, but the rotation, it's very close to being on I-20 and 281. So if you happen to know anyone that's doing any traveling out this way, just make sure that they know that what is coming their way. You can see Brazos, that's going to be just to the north. So it looks like right now the rotation is going to be south of Brazos, but it's basically over right now is Santos, I believe, right? Santos. Okay, yes. So that's moving east, and we've been noticing the storm. It's been moving at about 15, 20 miles an hour. So it's not moving very quickly, but nonetheless, it is moving off to the east. So Jason, if we can, actually, I want to look at the CC product. The good news is that this is going to be more rural area. So if it were picking up some things, if there were any debris, I think I would be seeing a little bit more than what we're seeing right now. So I'm not seeing anything on our correlation coefficient product that is telling me that there's just debris all over the place. That's not the case right now. So that's some good news. Now I want to look at our VIL product, and our VIL product is basically our storm strength product. And what we've been noticing is this storm, it's basically pegging the meter. What we mean by this is it's not weakening. In fact, it's very strong, and it just continues to strengthen as it moves off to the east. So there's no sign of this storm weakening. So we're going to be tracking this storm for quite some time. So it's moving off to the east. You can see there's Gordon. There's I-20, there's Highway 281, there's Millsap. Millsap, you're going to be way north of where this particular part of the storm that is tornado warned is. But let's go ahead and turn on reflectivity, and I want to show people just how big this supercell is. So the supercell is not even fitting in this whole screen right now. Jason's kind of zooming out to show you just how big the supercell is. So yes, this part of the storm, it is tornado warned, but a lot of this other part of the storm, it's dangerous as well because we have torrential downpours. We have a ton of lightning, and we're also looking at hail within this storm as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some wind maybe around 50, 60 miles an hour with this storm, but we're also going to be paying very close attention to some of that hail. The hail core looks like it's going to be south of Mineral Wells, so if you live in Mineral Wells, I think you're fine. You might be seeing some pea-sized hail. It's a very heavy rain, and you're definitely hearing that thunder outside, but looking at our hail size, we're looking at 2-inch hail. So we're looking at golf ball size hail at this point that's going to be right on 281 into I-20, and it looks like this hail core, the good news is it's going to be south of Millsap. But if you live in Gordon, you probably already had some hail. It looks like that hail core is moving just off to your east, so some good news there. But Brazos and Santo, you're in that hail core right now, so you're easily seeing quarter-size hail, but potentially golf ball size hail or larger. Let's go ahead and go back to the velocity product. And I want to see kind of what that's been doing, because that's been kind of bouncing all over the place. It's been weakening, it's been strengthening, but this continues to strengthen. This is going to be real concerning for me. The only saving grace is here. We're not next to any big towns, but there's Lipan. Okay, so if you live in Lipan, I would be in your safe spot, because there's no telling if it does maybe take a little bit more of a southward trend. Right now it's moving east, and all indications are that it's going to stay just north of you. But I would still go ahead and take my safety precautions if you do live in Lipan. But again, this is going to be right on I-20 and 281, and we've been talking about I-20 and 281 for quite some time. So that just kind of shows you how slowly this storm is moving. We want it to weaken as it moves off to the east, because eventually down the road we would be running into maybe some larger towns. But for now, that's the velocity product showing that this is potentially still on the ground. Again, we don't have any confirmation of this on the ground right now. I'm looking at some of the reports coming in, and
multiple tornadoes right now.
There definitely could be. We've been seeing this kind of wobbling around so much that there's been different areas of rotation for sure, but the strongest one looks like it's right in between I-20 and 281. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit more, and I want to show just again, the thunderstorm, exactly where it's going. So here's Weatherford, here's Mineral Wells. The tornado warned part of this storm, it's going to stay south of Mineral Wells. Okay, so Mineral Wells, you're going to see, you've obviously got the storms, you've got the heavy rain, you've got the lightning, you might have some small hail there, but the large hail core, that's going to be well south of you. Weatherford, you're probably going to be well north of the storm. You're going to get the storm. You're already seeing the rain. You're getting some lightning, and you might get some small hail. But this hail core, it almost looks like it's maybe strengthening a little bit, and it's trying to make its way a little to the north. So I wouldn't be surprised, Weatherford, if you maybe get some larger hail, maybe quarter-size hail. I think the larger hail, at least at this point, would be staying south of Weatherford. But Lipan, you're still just kind of, you're in that tornado warning technically. You're right on the line, but the rotation right now, as we've been saying for the past several minutes now, I mean, it looks like it's going to stay north of Lipan right now.
Yeah, it looks like it, but you know, I mean, Cassie, as you know, these things have a life of their own, and again, we have such great, unfortunately, really good inflow on this. We do have multiple reports right now from one of our chasers that's out there that it looks like there could be at least 2, maybe 3 tornadoes associated with this. But this supercell continues to strengthen right now. I believe baseball-sized hail is possible as it comes into this southwestern corner of Parker County. Once again, that's the Brazos River that we're looking at. This is northern Hood, Lipan's in Hood County. So what we're watching here is a classic supercell thunderstorm with now a tornado warning for Hood, Palo Pinto, and Parker County until 9:15 tonight. Unfortunately, this supercell, you know, a lot of times what we like to see in order for them to start to weaken, we're getting ready to go back on linear TV. And Cassie, when we're finished with this, I'm going to have you take over for just a moment. I need to take a quick break.
Yeah.
And then I'll have you take over and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay? And then we're staying on WFAA Plus. Looks like Ryan Seacrest is getting ready to send it to a commercial. Okay.
Standing by.
Hi again, everyone. I'm WFAA Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. We have a supercell thunderstorm right now that looks like it's produced 1, possibly 2 or 3 tornadoes. A tornado warning in effect. It's not for the Metroplex at this point, but the Metroplex is now under a tornado watch. Okay, we have a tornado warning just west of the Metroplex, northern Hood, southern Palo Pinto, and the southwestern, really the whole southern portion of Parker County. This is the Brazos River. Here's our supercell thunderstorm. There's the rotation. Let's put a track on that if we can. This thunderstorm, and I'm not interrupting American Idol. We're just taking this commercial break to give you an update. We've been on and we will continue to stay on our TV app, WFAA Plus. We would encourage you to download that because we have continuous weather coverage there. We don't want to interrupt American Idol at this point, just the commercial breaks. But we do have the tornado watch in effect. It has included now the entire Metroplex, Dallas County, Collin County, Tarrant County, and also Denton County. Ellis County, you're under this. Cook County, Rockwall County, Johnson County, you're all under that tornado watch. But the tornado warning is to the west of the Metroplex, and that is for Hood, Palo Pinto, Parker until 9:15. This storm with a tornado. We have confirmation that there's one actually on the ground now, and at one point it looked like that 3 tornadoes could be spotted with this one supercell. This storm will arrive in Lipan, and you need to go to your safe place right now if you live in Lipan. Arrival time there, it's 8:17. It'll be in Lipan at 8:25. Brock at 8:36. Oak Trail Shores 8:53. Center Mill at 8:58. Baker 9:01. Annetta South 9:08, Crescent 9:15, and Iona at 9:21. Let's zoom out just a little bit to give folks perspective. If you're new here in North Texas, here's the Metroplex right now. We have a thunderstorm warning in effect for Denton County. That's for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. But we have the tornado warned storm down to the south. And right now, I don't see anything that's going to cause this storm to weaken. There's a cap in place across the Dallas-Fort Worth area, across Tarrant County, Denton County, and locations off to the east. We'll have to see if this storm is able to erode the cap, weaken, if there's enough out there to weaken the cap that would cause this supercell to move into southern Tarrant County. That's my concern right now, is it moves from a fairly rural location into a more populated location the next hour or so. And these supercells, I watched one Friday night that traveled from outside of Austin. It moved up into North Texas Friday night and then exited into Northeast Texas. I mean, that was several hundred miles. I hope that doesn't happen tonight with this supercell that developed out around Albany, Texas. That's north of Abilene. So that developed a couple of hours ago, and it's had a life of its own the whole night. And you can see the hook here with this. It's a classic supercell. Unfortunately, it's a classic supercell thunderstorm that has tennis ball, maybe baseball size hail. At a minimum, you're looking at 70 to 80 mile an hour winds with this, and of course a tornado as well. We've already had a trained spotter that's on the ground out there that has told us they have seen one, possibly 2 or 3 tornadoes associated with this one supercell thunderstorm. Quick track, Jason, one more time before we send folks back to American Idol. We only have about 30 seconds here or less. And as we put a track, please note, tornado warning. Go to your safe space. If you're in Hood, Palo Pinto, or Parker County in the track of this storm, it arrives in Lipan in a couple of minutes. Oak Trail Shores, if it holds together, at 8:53. Baker at 8:59, and Annetta south at 9:08. We're going back on WFAA Plus. You can go back to American Idol. See you the next break.
Back on digital.
Okay, we are back on WFAA Plus. Cassie, if you would take over for just a moment here, that would be great.
Yeah, we're going to continue to track this tornado warned storm. Again, we've already seen a few reports of this tornado actually being on the ground, and that's no surprise because, in the past half hour or so, this just continues to strengthen. There's been no sign of this tornado warned storm actually weakening, okay? So we've got the track on it for you. We're moving east. Jason, what do you have the speed at right now? I'm sorry? Okay, well, we've been moving it at about 15 to 25 miles an hour. So it's not moving very quickly. So as it moves off to the east, again, this is going to be Hood, Palo Pinto, Parker counties. It's moving east, and you said we were doing it at 20 or 25? 25 miles an hour. So we're going to do a track on this. I'm going to show you once again where this storm is going and what time it's going to be there. Here's the thing. It looks like the tornado warned part of the storm, where we're seeing the strongest part of the rotation, that is going to stay south of Weatherford. Cannot say the same, though, for Dennis. You are going to be in the path of this storm. So Lipan, we're talking 8:29. It's 8:20 right now. But right now, it looks like Lipan, you're going to be on the south side of this, but I would be in my safe place if I'm in Lipan. Dennis at 8:43, so it's 8:20. You've got another 23 minutes or so to go before it does make it into downtown Dennis. Tin Top at 8:59. Down the road, if it continues to hold together, we're looking at Center Mill at 9:07, and then Baker at 9:11. So the tornado warning, that continues to move off to the east, roughly about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So this is a classic supercell. You can see just how big this storm really is. And it's not just the tornado warned part of the storm that we're going to be concerned about. Mineral Wells, you're seeing some heavy rain right now. You're seeing some lightning, but there's also going to be quite a bit of hail within this particular storm. So we've zoomed in just a little bit closer. You can really see how much this storm is starting to tighten up quite a bit. That is where we would typically see a debris ball. So what I'm curious about, if we can look at our correlation coefficient product and see if we're seeing anything there. And Jason, I mean, I'm not seeing anything that stands out to me. No, I'm not seeing it, and that's some good news. And the worst we've heard is that earlier it was showing maybe some debris, as in, leaves and, things like that, but nothing crazy. So basically just a really strong wind event. But we've already seen reports of this tornado actually being on the ground. Fortunately, this is not going to be a heavily populated area. But nonetheless, there could be people out here, especially driving on 281 or I-20. So you happen to know people that are traveling out west today, make sure to let them know what is coming their way. This tornado that continues to make its way off to the east. And again, we're going to continue to track this, but it's basically that rotation. It's right on 281 and Highway 20. There's Lipan. The main rotation is going to be just north of Lipan. But if I'm in Lipan, I would be in my safe spot. Again, your safe spot is going to be in the centermost part of your home. That's going to be a place without windows, and to make sure that you cover your head as much as you possibly can. That's going to be blankets. It's going to be helmet, whatever you can grab, because this is a classic supercell. So this is going to be where the tornado is if we currently have one. And Jason, if we zoom in any more, are there any other little towns that could be popping up? So there's Dennis, okay? Dennis, you got to be in your safe spot. Lipan, you got to be in your safe spot. There's I-20. This is where the tornado would be, okay? This is where the tornado would be. And just north of that, Brazos, you're in the hail core. So you're likely at least seeing golf ball size hail, but would not be surprised if in this particular storm, you're seeing maybe even baseball size hail. Not everyone is going to get the baseball size hail tonight, okay? That's just not going to be the case. But where you're seeing those purples, where you're seeing that storm really strengthen, that's gone up. In fact, since I've been in North Texas, I have not seen it this large. So 3 inches, 3.1. Yeah, we're easily talking baseball, softball size hail at this point. So this is also going to be a damaging hail event as it makes its way off to the east. So Brazos, you're at least seeing golf ball size hail. Fortunately, it looks like the hail core is going to be just to your south. But Brock, I'd be prepared. I would be prepared. Dennis, I would be prepared. You are in the line of seeing that damaging hail event. Let's put it on our velocity product again. I want to look at where this rotation is and kind of get an idea. I mean, it's still there. It's still strengthening. It's still kind of cycling and doing its thing. But this is still exactly where that rotation is going to be. It's going to be I-20 and Highway 281. It's going to continue to move off to the east. There's the Oak Trail Shores. It looks like, at least for now, that this is going to stay north of that, but we're just going to have to watch and see. Gate to gate shear, 129 miles an hour. This is, we've definitely got a tornado on the ground. I'm looking at some of the information coming in, nearly 90 mile per hour inbound velocity. Looking at any other thing on our weather chat here to see if we're seeing the other reports. And again, I know that we've already seen reports of this being on the ground, and just all the classic supercells that I've seen in my lifetime, I would say that this is probably on the ground. It has not shown any signs of weakening just yet. So again, it's moving off to the east. If we could zoom out one more time, I just kind of want to, and now put reflectivity on. I want to give people an idea of exactly where this storm is. So again, we're talking well south of Mineral Wells. This is going to be north of Morgan Mill. It looks like the rotation, a part of this, the tornado warns part of the storm, that's going to be south of Weatherford, okay? That's going to stay south of Weatherford. But if I'm in Granbury, I'd also be paying very close attention. This would go just to the north of you. Right now, it looks like it would stay north, but we're getting pretty close. And Lipan, it also looks like it's going to be just to your north, but it's continuing to strengthen. It's not dying anytime soon. It's still just kind of eating at the air that's out in front of it. Fort Worth, we're going to get there eventually, but right now, fortunately, it looks like that the tornado warning sword, at least the strongest part of the rotation, that would be staying south of Fort Worth if it continues to hold together. Is Fort Worth going to get some rain? Probably. Are we going to get some hail in Fort Worth? Also a possibility. But right now, the biggest part of that hail core is also going to be basically right along Highway 281 and I-20. That's also going to stay north of Lipan as it makes its way off to the east. So again, tornado warning for Hood, Palo Pinto, and Parker counties until 9:15. It's 8:26 right now, so we still have some time to go. And there's no sign of this storm weakening by any means. Can we look at our VIL product again? I like to look at that. Just to kind of see if it's doing any sort of weakening, and it's just not. Again, we're going to be on the high end part of this meter, so this is the strongest that it can get. This is the strongest that it can get, and it's not showing any signs of weakening. All it's doing is just kind of cycling and moving and changing position a little bit, but that's it. This storm, it's still very much a supercell. It's still very strong, and it still potentially has a tornado on the ground. I'm still looking at what the weather service is saying is circulation continues to strengthen with the storm, and they will be upgrading to considerable tornado potential. So this could be, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. This continues to make its way off to the east, and this storm, again, here's where the tornado warn part of this storm is. It's going to be north of Lipan. Okay.
We're going back on linear TV. Lee, let me know when we are. We are live right now. We have been on our WFAA Plus app. We are back taking a commercial break during American Idol. Yeah. We have a tornado warning right now, and it's going to be upgraded to a considerable tornado warning. And this is to the southwest of Fort Worth, really west-southwest of Fort Worth, right off of I-20. So we have a supercell thunderstorm that we know has touched down, I would assume, 3, 4, or 5 times or more. I don't have any reports of any damage, but it also has with it tennis ball, maybe up to baseball size hail. There's nothing in front of this. There's a cap in place across the Metroplex, and I'm hopeful as this system moves into closer to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it's close right now. It's only about 30 miles away from the Tarrant-Parker County line, but this system right now, unfortunately, has its sights set on. You can see this is one heck of a supercell thunderstorm. I have 1 minute left here before we send you back to American Idol. Then we're going to go back on our WFAA Plus app. I would highly encourage you to download that as well. This is moving in off to the east. This is the Brazos River. Here's Lipan, northwestern Hood County, Granbury, of course, in Hood County, Benbrook in Tarrant County. But it's going to run right along the Parker-Hood County line. And as it moves off to the east, let's put a track on that, Jason, because there's a tornado warning in effect for Hood, Palo Pinto, and Parker until 9:15. It will arrive. The core of this storm, the center of the circulation, arrives in Tin Top at 8:55, Baker at 9:08, Crescent at 9:28, and West Wheatland at 9:33. Right now, back to Idle. Okay, we are still right here. We do have a report right now of a tornado in Thurber. Now, Thurber, it's a mile outside of Thurber, okay? Thurber's right here, right on, you see it. If you're driving out to the west, you're driving out to Abilene, no doubt you've seen that exit there right off the interstate. But as this continues to run right along the Parker-Hood County line, moving off to the east, and again, it continues to cycle. And it's if not multiple tornadoes from this one supercell thunderstorm confirmed right now out in Palo Pinto County, and now this storm has entered the southwestern corner of Parker County. So Palo Pinto, you're still right here on the cusp of it, the southeastern corner of Palo Pinto County, but it's exiting Palo Pinto right now, and the circulation is right here, kind of where Parker, Hood, and Palo Pinto come together, which is you and Lipan. So if you live in Lipan, you should have been in your safe place. And I hope that it's north of you in some of this ranch country out here where people won't be impacted by it, and hopefully there's no damage. And certainly we don't want anyone to be hurt. We want everyone to be safe. So please go to your safe room tonight. This is our center of circulation right now. We're going to stay on WFAA Plus throughout the evening. We know we have the season finale of American Idol on WFAA, but we do want folks to know we are always here for you, keeping you updated with these with severe weather or really weather of any kind. But a rotation right now we have. Jason, let's zoom out and show let's just give folks an idea, because if you're in Denton County, you're like, well, hey man, I don't have anything going on. But let's just show folks what's happening across North Texas. Go out to the DMA view, Jason. Let's kind of do a reset here now that it's just 1 minute after 8:30. This is what we have across the area. This thunderstorm up to the north in Wise County, that's produced some 60-mile-an-hour winds. It's also produced some quarter-size hail. That's what's being warned for Denton County right now. So let's take a look at that if we can and show you what's happening up there. Denton and Wise County, it's a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but it's a severe thunderstorm warning for Denton and Wise County until 8:45. Lots of lightning, a prolific lightning producer with this thunderstorm that's in Wise County, getting ready to move into Denton County. It does show some signs of weakening. Now, Jason, do you have the tornado watch? Can we show that for just a moment? Just so everyone can see, because the Metroplex wasn't under a tornado watch, and now the Metroplex is under a tornado watch. And I know it takes just a moment to update that, and that's okay. But that tornado watch, Cassie, do you know what time that tornado watch goes to? I'm going to guess it's got to be after 10 o'clock, maybe midnight or later. that the Metroplex is under?
I have not seen just yet. I am just looking. I was actually talking to Adriana, and she is going. We are taking her on I-20 to go look at the storm, but we're going to keep her north of, obviously where the tornado warn part is.
Keep her in a safe place, obviously.
Yes, we're going to send her to a safe place.
There's the tornado watch right there.
I'm looking at it. Oh, is it popping up on your end now?
There it is. Oh, it goes until 10 o'clock.
Yes, 10.
So it's the same time. It just now includes the entire Metroplex. So that's what we have. And I know, Lee, we have you back behind the camera giving me instructions here. I know that you'll let me know when the next commercial break happens. Okay, thank you so much for that. But again, we have one supercell thunderstorm. The only thing that could, well, there's a couple of factors that could possibly cause this storm to weaken, because right now there's really nothing in its path that would, if we had a bunch of rain around here and this supercell was moving into a rain-cooled area that wasn't as turbulent, if you will, maybe that would give me a little confidence that, as it moves a little farther off to the east, we might see some signs of weakening. The hope is, and there isn't any of that. There's been a cap in place across the Metroplex. I'm hoping that cap is still there. It was last measured at 3 p.m. and it was still a pretty strong cap. Hopefully it's still here across these populated areas of Tarrant County, this northern part of Johnson County. Gives me a little bit of hope, because as I see this storm up in Denton County, Wise County moving into Denton, I see that start to weaken just a little bit. I'm hopeful that as this supercell closes in on a more populated area, I'm hoping that it starts to run into that cap. That's that warm layer of air aloft that can shut down severe thunderstorms. I'm hoping that it runs into that and it starts to weaken. I've seen that happen over the years, where it'll run into the cap and it'll go from one monster supercell and then it'll just almost collapse in just a matter of 30 minutes or so. So hopefully that's what takes place with this. I have not had a chance to look at any of the latest data out there to see if that's the case, but as of right now, we have one supercell thunderstorm that's in the southern half of Parker County. It's south of you in Weatherford. Do we have our Weatherford? Let's go to our Weatherford camera. I don't know who's directing up in the control room. Zeke, can you put up that Weatherford camera? Jason's going to keep the weather graphic system in place, and there's our Weatherford camera. So there's all the lightning that you can see in Weatherford, the very, very heavy rain. We are probably, I'm just trying to get a quick estimate in my head, probably 15, 20 miles. This camera's probably 15 or 20 miles away.
Going live?
We're going live. Hi everyone, I'm WFAA Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. Once again, I'm not going to interrupt American Idol. I do want you to know we've been on and we will continue to stay on WFAA Plus, but during this commercial break, and Lee, how long do we have? During this commercial break, I want to give you a quick update about a supercell thunderstorm that's approaching the Metroplex right now. It's approaching the Metroplex right now, and we have a tornado warning for Parker County. It's south of you in Weatherford. Okay, we'll put up our Weatherford camera here in just a second, but here's our tornado warned storm. There's the center of circulation. I don't know, that's maybe 15 miles away, maybe. That's the Brazos River. There's the center. I mean, we've got one heck of a supercell out here in southern Parker County, and this system developed north of Abilene. It was out around Albany. If you're familiar with the rolling plains of Texas, this supercell developed out around Albany, Texas, and it has just hung on. It's actually strengthened. We've had reports of tennis ball to baseball size hail. We've had reports of 80 to 90 mile an hour winds. And we've also, at one point, we had reports of 3 tornadoes on the ground with this supercell thunderstorm. Still wrapped up, pretty classic look right now. A lot of very, very heavy rain. Let's, Zeke, put up that Weatherford Tower cam real fast. And Lee, how long do I have left? About 2.5 minutes left before we go back to idle. Let's put up that Weatherford Tower cam. Again, this camera, Weatherford College, maybe 15 miles to the north of the supercell thunderstorm. We're seeing a lot of lightning out there. I'm not seeing much in the way. I see a little bit of wind here on this camera. I'm not seeing much other than the lightning, the rain, maybe some 30 mile an hour winds on this. This is our closest camera, again, about 15 miles to the northeast of the supercell. Now let's go back to the radar. We'll put a track on that, because remember, if you live in Parker County, south of Weatherford right now, you do have a severe thunderstorm. You do have a tornado warning in effect. So it's northern Hood, anywhere from Lipan. It's north of you in Granbury. Granbury, you're not under the tornado warning. Lipan, northwestern corner of the county, you absolutely are. But this storm will arrive in Dennis at 8:40, Tin Top at 8:55, Baker at 9:08, Annetta South at 9:19, Crescent 9:26, Wheatland at 9:34. Now Crowley, you're over here. You're southern Tarrant County. So it's going to be kind of in the south central part of Tarrant County. This projection has it there in about an hour and a half, 9:59. This system's not moving very fast. At one point, its forward speed was about 30 to 35 miles an hour. Unfortunately, it's slowed down. It's slowed down, it's ingesting more air. It's really taken on a life of its own. Again, it's a supercell. It's one single thunderstorm that's creating all of these problems, and hopefully it won't create more, but there's not a whole lot of, I don't want to, trying to find the best word. I'm hopeful that with the cap in place across the Metroplex, this system, as it approaches Tarrant County, a more populated area obviously, as it approaches a more populated area, I'm hoping it runs into the cap and it just shuts down. Right now though, we'll have to keep an eye on it. We certainly will. 10 seconds till we go back to American Idol. We will stay on WFAA Plus. Download WFAA Plus on your TV right now. Back to Idol. Okay, I believe we are back on WFAA Plus right now. Okay, so this is what we have. Just a quick recap here. Jason, let's go back and show folks from the beginning. Let's show the tornado watch that's in place across the area. Not much happening in the Metroplex right now. It's 8:39 at night. So we have a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. And Jason, take your time to go ahead and load that up. The tornado watch does include the Dallas-Fort Worth area and all locations off to the west. Okay, and Cassie, if you have a second while I'm talking, if you could post that tornado watch, the updated graphic. I just want everyone on social, I know it's Sunday night at 8:39, I want everyone on social to know that the Metroplex is now under a tornado watch, and that goes until 10 o'clock tonight. But as Jason's right here now with me, Jason Joseph, our weather producer, we're talking about this Denton County, Wise County thunderstorm warning that goes until 8:45. Those storms over Wise and Denton County and really the southern portion of Cook County, it's weakened quite a bit. So that warning is going to expire here very shortly, but right now I'm just concerned up here that expires at 8:45. So that's in 5 minutes. So this right now, this is just a prolific lightning producer and a lot of heavy rain. So once this is allowed to expire, okay, in 3.5, 4 minutes, at that point then we're going to have one. And Jason, let's take a look at what's happening across the rest of North Texas, because we do have some thunderstorms up in Cook County, but the rest of Collin County, just a couple of thunderstorms. A big part of Dallas County is dry, and almost all of Tarrant County is dry. I mean, this is all we have is this one thunderstorm right now, the one supercell that's in southern Parker that has its sights set on the southern part of Tarrant County, most likely south of downtown Fort Worth, the northern part of Johnson County. So Jason, we can zoom into that now and we'll put a track on that one more time. Let me show folks, kind of shift the map back a little more, because I just want you to be able to see what's happened, these towns in Tarrant. You can zoom in just a tad more for me, please. A couple more towns in southern Tarrant County. Yeah, so that's perfect. That's perfect right there. So here's our center of circulation. It's right there by the Brazos River. If you live in Crescent, Burleson, Benbrook, Joshua, Godley, I mean, all of these areas, this warning that really kind of almost stops right before you get to the Tarrant County line, that's where this storm's moving. And it'll be 10 tops out here in the southern part of Parker County. 8:49 is when it'll be there. Center Mill is in the far northern part of Hood County. You start to get into some of these other locations, Annetta South, 9:12, Baker, 9:01's your arrival time, Crescent, 9:19, Iona, 9:27, Benbrook, very populated, of course, here in just southwest of downtown Fort Worth. Hopefully it falls apart before it gets into these really, really populated areas. But right now, I'm very concerned about this tornado warned storm. There is a warning for Hood, Palo Pinto, Parker until 9:15. Hood, Palo Pinto, and Parker County, south of Weatherford, north of Granbury. Anywhere between Weatherford and Granbury, if you live in Annetta South, you live in Crescent, you need to stay alert. I know, Teresa, you're here in the studio with us. Do you have a microphone on?
I do have a microphone on.
Hip. Yeah, and when you get a chance, I'd just like to find out, I know you've talked to some emergency managers. Give us an update, please.
Absolutely. And Pete, just jump in if you need to jump in with something urgent, but I'll just kind of run through what we do know. Is my microphone on? Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, I believe it's on now. My apologies. Pete, jump in if you need to interrupt me. But we have reached out to folks who are in Santo, and I'm trying to go through my email to find exactly what we learned. We talked with the folks at a travel center that's located at 281 and I-20 in Santo, the Maverick Travel Center. They had 60 to 70 people inside that travel center trying to take cover as this storm was moving through. They told us their focus was on keeping people safe, but they did have 60 to 70 people trying to take shelter from the storm as it was coming through. We have also heard that there is a wreck on I-20 at 281. We're trying to get some more information about exactly what may be involved in that and whether that could have been related to storm damage as well. So just to kind of give folks a little bit of an idea of what our crews are doing, we do have at least one crew who is headed west. They're going on I-20 right now. As Cassie was saying earlier, we work very carefully and closely with them to make sure that they stay in safe positions, but they are going to check on any sort of potential damage or any situation that may be unfolding in that Santo area. We've also been on the phone with multiple emergency management crews and sheriff's departments. And, you know, when I came down here to the studio, maybe about 15, 20 minutes ago, we had not heard any confirmation yet that there was any sort of extensive damage in any of these locations. But that's what we're doing behind the scenes, is talking to the emergency management crews, to police officers, to fire departments, as well as sheriff's departments. The thing we always run into, and I experience this because I work every weekend, is on Sunday night, sometimes it's tough to get in touch with people, but we will continue working on that, continue working on trying to find any sort of information from emergency management departments. But I can tell you on social media, I've seen a lot of pictures and a lot of videos from people who just see some very scary looking clouds, and many of them are saying that, you know, they are taking shelter. And as I mentioned, especially there at that travel center at 281 and I-20, we knew about 60 to 70 people were taking shelter inside of a facility there. So clearly still an unfolding situation, and you know, our meteorologists stay on top of it as it is unfolding, and then the news crews come in after it has come through to check out and see what any potential damage might be. One, I guess, bright spot is that some of these are less populated areas that are sort of under the gun. It doesn't matter if you are one of the ones who does live in that area. Of course, if you're experiencing it, it's scary, and we hope that you're not experiencing damage. But thank goodness that as of now, we're not having any of our most populated areas that are involved in any of the most extensive warnings.
Hey, Teresa, one quick update. I'm just kind of behind the scenes here looking at the radar itself, and the circulation right now on this in southern Parker County, it's broadened a little bit. Okay, so I'm not going to say it's weakened. I don't want people to think that, but it's certainly broadened out. It's not as tight as it was a few moments ago. That just tells me that maybe at this moment there's not a tornado in progress, maybe at this moment, but it's been cycling up and down for hours now.
That's what you see, Pete, right?
Yeah.
It increases in intensity and then it goes back down and then increases once again.
Yeah, it does. I mean these things. Let's Jason loop through that for me if you can, please. Oh, we'll center that up and take the radar. I know you guys are working behind the scenes too, so thank you for your patience. But look at that. Yeah, Jason, that's a great. Turn the lightning off if we can, and watch. Are we getting ready to go back on linear? Hi everyone, I'm WFAA Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. We continue with the tornado warning. It's southern Parker County right now, a classic supercell. We know we've had multiple reports of confirmed tornado, and at one point it appeared as though from several trained spotters that there may have been 3 centers of circulation with this, 3 possible tornadoes on the ground at one point. Right now though, the tornado warning goes until 9:15 for southern Parker and northern Hood County. it's the center of circulation has broadened out a little bit. And again, we're taking a commercial break during American Idol. We're not interrupting American Idol. We've been on for a couple of hours now on our WFAA Plus app. And once this commercial break ends, and how long do we have? Once this commercial break ends, there's 2 minutes left, then you get to go back and watch American Idol, or you can go to WFAA Plus and watch our continuous coverage. But it's moving toward you in the southwestern corner of Tarrant County. The circulation has broadened just a little. The only thing that tells me is there's not an ongoing tornado at this moment, but it has done that about a dozen times the last 2 hours that I've been watching this supercell thunderstorm that started north of Abilene. It started out around Albany, Texas, if you know where that is, out in the rolling plains of Texas. That's where it started, but the center of circulation right now, Jason, we could put the circulation icon on. We can then put a track, give people an idea as to when it's going to arrive in these different locations at these times. But it's 8:48 right now, almost 8:49, as this moves toward southwestern Tarrant County. It'll arrive in Tin Top. That's in southern Parker County. It'll arrive in Tin Top any moment now. It's pouring in Tin Top right now, and I know Tin Top's a tiny town, but of course we want to let everyone know that lives in any of these locations. Center Mill, it'll arrive there at 8:58. Baker at 9:02. Crescent, Annetta South, that will arrive. Now that's just across the Tarrant County line in Parker County. Annetta South, it'll arrive there at 9:14. Crescent, that's that corner here. This is that Johnson County? That's the corner of Johnson County, I believe. It'll arrive in Crescent at 9:20, Wheatland at 9:28, and Benbrook, of course, in Tarrant County, southwest of downtown Fort Worth. That'll arrive in Benbrook at 9:42. This is if it holds together. Again, this has been a really, really powerful supercell thunderstorm, and they are notorious for producing large hail, baseball. We've had reports of tennis ball and baseball size hail already. I have not had any confirmation of any damage tonight. It's been out in a lot of ranch land out to the west of the Metroplex, but we're continuing to watch this. Right now, it's northern Hood, southern Parker County, a tornado warning until 9:15. I'm going to go back on WFAA Plus, and you get to go back to American Idol. We'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, we are back right now on WFAA Plus. We will continue our coverage that we have here. The tornado threat has cycled down for just a bit. I mentioned a moment ago, it's broadened. There's still a really impressive hail core just west of Crescent. So at a minimum, you're looking at some, hail that could be golf ball to tennis ball size, maybe a little bit larger than that. Trying to get some pictures in. I know we have a reporter that's headed in that direction. In addition to the tennis ball, the baseball size hail, I'm also looking at the potential for, I would think, 75, 80 mile an hour winds, straight line winds with this. I mean, if this supercell starts to fall apart, we're going to have some strong winds. But the Metroplex right now is under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock. It was west of the Metroplex until 10, and now the Metroplex has been included in this. And the area of the Metroplex that I'm concerned about would be Tarrant County, northern Johnson in Tarrant County. We have very heavy rain. This is just a heavy rain producer up in Wise County. Denton County, you'll be getting in on that here very shortly. But the biggest area of concern, and Cassie is with Cassie Hyder, meteorologist Cassie Hyder. Cassie, you're with me here too. I don't know if you're on the phone with one of our crews or not, but Cassie, and Jason, go to the velocity data. This has really broadened out pretty significantly, Cassie, in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, look at that. I'm not saying this is over, because it's certainly not, but boy, this is certainly great news.
Yes, it's definitely kind of broadened out a little bit. Looking at that rotation, if we could go ahead and put that in play mode, I just kind of want to look at the rotation really quick. That's going to be, it looks like it's just going to be north and northwest of Granbury. So we could take it maybe down to 30 minutes or so instead of the full hour. That way I can look at it a little bit more closely about what's been happening as of late. And again, it's definitely cycling. It's going through its motions. Hopefully it continues to weaken, because that's definitely the trend that we've been seeing here over the last several minutes or so. But if we were to have a weak tornado right now, it would be north of Granbury. It's still making its way east. It's not moving very quickly, but if we did, we've got some broad rotation rotation right here. So that's going to be north of Granbury. It's going to be well east of Lipan now. I know obviously we've had confirmation of the tornado that was north of Lipan earlier. It's now going to be well east of you, and it's weakening quite a bit. We're not saying that it's not on the ground. We're not saying that there's not a tornado anymore, but it's definitely come down significantly from what it was. Just here in the past 5 minutes or so, it looks like, I mean, it's still broad, but it's trying to form again. It's trying to strengthen maybe just a little bit. It's not strong by any means, but this is still a dangerous storm. This is still making its way east. And I'm going to put my finger right here. Jason, if we could stop the loop and now put it on reflectivity, and I want to see what it looks like. And there it is. That's exactly where the rotation is. So where it was showing you that rotation was, that's exactly where, if we were to have a tornado, that's where it would be. So it's going to stay well north of Granbury. And the thing about this particular storm, earlier it was definitely looking like it was probably rain wrapped, okay? That's not necessarily the case anymore. There's still going to be a lot of rain, obviously, with this. The hail core is going to be just north of there. This is going to continue to move off to the east, but this is still looking like a classic Hook echo to me. So we're not in the clear just yet. If you're in Granbury, it looks like it's going to stay well north of you. I think you're in the clear right now, Granbury. But off to the east, Crescent, you're right in the path of this storm. So if you know anyone in Crescent, or maybe anyone traveling on Highway 377, you want to go ahead and give them a call, give them a heads up, and let them know what's coming, because you do not want to be in the path of this storm. We actually do have Adriana. She's one of our reporters, and I was talking with her about where she is. Jason, actually, if you could put our storm chaser on here, I know we can actually kind of see their GPS of where they are. I just want to continue to make sure she's safe. And I know where she was. She was near Arlington, and they told her to go west on 20. We're gonna,
Give her a call.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make sure she's okay.
Yeah, and she's far away from that where that tornado is, but she's going to be moving west on I-20.
We always make sure that
you can actually see her behind you. We've got her GPS. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. She's
fine.
Way out of the way.
We had a reporter one time, remember Sebastian Robinson? Yeah. He drove into the middle of a hail core up in Denton County.
I vividly remember that.
It was a tennis ball size to baseball size hail. So he didn't know his north, south, east, or west, but we do training every spring in March to make sure everyone's up to speed on that. So we do have some spotters that are reporting some rotation with this. As Cassie mentioned just a moment ago, and I mentioned too, the rotation has broadened out, but that doesn't mean that this supercell, it may have just cycled down for a moment and then it's going to pick back up, but we're still seeing another hook that's trying to develop here. So this is just north of Oak Trail Shores. You're in the clear down in Granbury. Now Crescent is right here on the Johnson, this is Hood, it's on the Johnson-Hood County line. So that's the area of concern. Here's Parker, or I'm sorry, there's Tarrant, here's Parker. So Crescent's right here on the county line. So if you live in Crescent, man, you have to take shelter. I want you to know this storm will arrive in Crescent in about 20 minutes. But don't wait 20 minutes. I would go to your safe room now, keep it here on WFAA Plus. And we will certainly keep you updated on what's taking place. Teresa, I know you've been here in the studio this evening. I know you're talking to some folks. You gave us an update a minute ago. Anything new that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I can tell you, my microphone is on, yes. I can tell you that I mentioned earlier we knew of a potential accident at I-20 and Highway 281. We did get confirmation that I'm sorry, I'm looking through a bunch of emails to make sure I say this the right way, that according to the emergency management there, they did confirm that a semi flipped over. Thankfully, the driver suffered minor injuries only. He didn't have any, the emergency management officer we spoke with didn't have any other details to report. Also, I wanted to tell you that I did hear from our Bud Kennedy, who is a contributor here to our political show, and Bud was saying that the sirens were going off in Aledo, so a lot of folks in Aledo are probably wondering exactly what's happening in their area, taking shelter from hearing some sirens. But in addition, we are continuing to work on finding out information about Santo. That's an area where I'm seeing a lot of pictures and images on social media. No reports of major damage or anything like that yet, but a lot of people talking about what they experienced when this was coming through. I mentioned earlier that there's a travel center at 281 and I-20, the Maverick Travel Center, and we were on the phone earlier with the shift manager there, and he was talking about 60 to 70 people taking shelter, and I think that's an area where Cassie earlier was saying that there could be some very large hail that was falling there. Yeah.
Any reports of any damage there?
So as of right now, we don't have damage reports confirmed. We do have that one report of potentially, a semi that had blown over at I-20 and 281. And then we also have a report of the potential of maybe like a gas leak at one of the school district facilities there in Santo. But
okay.
I don't have any reports as of right now that there is damage in any of these areas to homes or things like that. Doesn't mean it's not out there. You know how this works? It's a Sunday night, it's late, and it takes a while for emergency management and first responders to maybe get out and check and see and confirm that there is damage. But as of now, I'm not seeing anything widespread or major,
okay.
and that's certainly good news, Pete.
No, that is good news. Now, that's the good news. Let me give you the bad news is the center of circulation is starting to tighten up. Well, hi again, everyone. I'm WFAA Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. A minute before the top of the hour here at 8:59 right now. We still have a tornado warning in effect for a southern part of Parker County. It's moving toward you in the southwestern corner of Tarrant County and northern Johnson County. If you live in Crescent, you need to go to your safe space. The last time we talked was about 10 minutes ago or so, and the supercell had started to broaden out a little bit. Unfortunately, the circulation has tightened back up. So these things, I've mentioned this throughout the evening, these supercell thunderstorms, they strengthen, they weaken, they strengthen, they weaken. It goes through its life cycle, and it's intensifying yet again. There's still no indication at this moment that we have an active tornado. This is Doppler radar indicated, but you look at Doppler radar for this long, and there's just some signatures on Doppler radar that tell you we most likely will have, if this thing doesn't weaken again, we most likely will have another touchdown. We've had several reports tonight from chasers that are out. And I know it was out west of the Metroplex, a lot of ranches out there, but we've had multiple reports from chasers tonight confirming that we've certainly had possibly several tornadoes, several touchdowns from this one supercell thunderstorm. And quite candidly, we may have had several different tornadoes with the one supercell in addition to the multiple touchdowns. So that's what we're watching right now. We don't have any reports of any damage. We've had Teresa Woodard's with me here in the studio. She told me that a semi was blown over. Teresa, was that off of I-20?
I-20 and 281, yes.
I-20 and 281. So a semi was blown over right on the interstate. So right there at 281, here's the Brazos River. There's our circulation. I mean, this is a classic supercell. Look at the hook on this. And as this system continues to move off to the east, we'll put a track on it. But just know at this moment, and for 15 more minutes, Hood and Parker County, you're under a tornado warning. Unless something dramatically changes with this, Tarrant County, you're going to have a tornado warning here very shortly. Crescent, you're right, Crescent's right on the Johnson-Hood County line. Crescent, you need to be in your safe place. Center Mill, that storm is there right now. It'll arrive in Baker at 9:05. There's the arrival time for Crescent, so 19 minutes from now. Wheatland, here in this southwestern corner of Tarrant County, Wheatland, it'll arrive at 9:31 in your location. I know this is the American Idol finale tonight. We are interrupting the commercial break, not the actual show, the commercial break, to just give you a quick update. We've been streaming all night on our TV app, WFAA Plus. We're going to continue to do that. Jason, put up the tornado watch because the Metroplex right now is under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. So all of Dallas-Fort Worth and locations west under a tornado watch until 10. We have one thunderstorm. One supercell thunderstorm as we go back to the radar. One supercell thunderstorm that's in southern Parker County, and it's moving toward you in southern Tarrant County. That tornado warning goes for Hood and Parker County until 9:15, and it will most likely be extended into Tarrant. Right now, though, back to Idle. Okay, we are continuing here on WFAA Plus. As I mentioned, the circulation with this, unfortunately, does look like it's tightening back up. just to the west of Crescent. Crescent is in this area here, Hood and Parker County. You were under that. I am getting some reports of some minor damage in a couple of different locations across. They're just coming in right now, but a little bit of minor damage. It looks like maybe some type of shed, some type of metal barn structure that might have been knocked over. It doesn't look significant at all, but nonetheless, I don't have any indication right now of an active tornado. It's radar, Doppler radar is showing us that we do have a possible tornado, and we know we have a supercell thunderstorm right now. Lee, how much time do we have before the next one? About another 10, 15 minutes or so. And just let me know how long we have during that break. Nope, no problem at all. Okay, tornado warning. It does continue for Hood and Parker County until 9:15. There's our center of circulation. There's our supercell thunderstorm. Cassie, I know you're behind the scenes there. Could you do this? I'd like to, do you know where Albany, Texas is, north of Abilene? From Abilene, or Albany, north of Abilene, to where this current storm is, tell me how, or Jason, you can do that. Just put a quick track, zoom into Albany out here, and go in a little bit more. There's Roby, a little bit more. Oh, wrong county. Here we go. Oh, I had my A's mixed up, Anson. So from Albany, that's where this thunderstorm developed. It was kind of in this area right here, between Abilene and Albany. Kind of wondering how far that distance is. That started at 5:30. 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. So we're 3.5 hours into this. Started at 5:30 out by, so Jason, do a quick, just a distance marker there for me. From right here, the corner of these two counties, where this, all the way over to where it is now. I'm just kind of curious as to how far this has traveled. So about 100 miles, a little over 100 miles. This thing's been on the ground for over 100 miles. To the Tarrant County line, Jason, what is that, about 110, 115? Yeah. Okay, about 115. Maybe a little more, maybe 120, okay. Okay, let's go back to the track. You can see, I mean, look at the lightning with this system. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, so been on the ground since about 5:30. Yes, absolutely. I didn't want to tell people that are watching American Idol that, but that's our procedure. Once they issue a tornado warning for Tarrant County, we will go on the air live, and we will stay on live. Of course, Tarrant County, one of the most populated counties in the state of Texas. So we have a service to provide. We're here on WFAA Plus. We're going to do the same thing on broadcast TV as well. And I would think that we certainly would have a tornado warning. Cassie, I'd be shocked if Tarrant County doesn't have a tornado warning here very shortly. I would think in the next, before 9:30, we most likely would have that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They haven't mentioned anything about that.
Yeah.
In fact, it looks like someone is, they're asking about that. Other meteorologists are asking about that in the National Weather Service chat to see if they're officially going to do that or not. I certainly, if I lived in Southwest Tarrant County, I would be on the lookout.
Yeah, no, I agree. Jason, let's put a track on that just so folks can see where it is right now, if you don't mind. Put a track, we can show where it is and when it will arrive in these next locations, and give folks an idea just so they can prepare. We've been mentioning that you need to take shelter as quickly as you can. This storm will arrive in Crescent at 9:20. So arrival time in Crescent is at 9:20. Wheatland's at 9:30. Crowley, now that's at Wheatland is in Tarrant County. Crowley, of course, in southern Tarrant County. That'll arrive there at 9:55. Edgecliff Village at 9:57, and Burleson, that'll arrive in Burleson at 10:01. So those are the latest times that we have for the current tornado warned storm, a supercell thunderstorm in Hood and Parker County, okay? I will tell you the core aloft with this storm has weakened considerably just in the last few minutes. Wow, look at that. It's weakened considerably in the last few minutes, along with an abrupt drop in lightning, suggesting that the updraft, thank goodness, I hope this continues, the updraft may be collapsing. So there's nothing for certain that Tarrant will be under this, but I do wonder, and if it continues to collapse like this, that would all be complements of the cap. So are we going to a break? Waiting for the hub, Jason? Put reflectivity back on when you have a chance. There we go.
It's 3:45.
Okay.
Oh,
Haven't gone to the break yet?
that was. Okay. You can keep going on plus. Okay.
Well, I think we're getting ready to go to commercial.
Getting very close.
Waiting for Ryan Seacrest. As you're on WFAA Plus, you see what my life has been like for the last 30 years as we stand here getting ready for Ryan Seacrest or whoever to send us to a commercial break. We're getting ready to go now. We may be singing another song, so we're going to continue here on WFAA Plus. Is that correct, Lee?
Yeah, I guess.
Taking my cues from Lee Morris behind the camera here.
We're still digital.
Okay, so we are still on, I know we've been on WFAA Plus, just continue. Okay, so yeah, so once again, as we look at this supercell thunderstorm trying to collapse right now, again, it's weakened considerably in the last few radar runs. Jason, keep that up. Let me check something off camera here. I just want to look at an analysis tool that I have back here, just so I can see what's happening with this. And I'm also looking at the lightning going down. Oh, that's great. Do you want to keep that there with you? Okay, let me take this over here with me. I want to keep, boy, I tell you what, Cassie, the lightning has really gone down with this also, hasn't it?
Yes, the lightning has come down, and also the hail core has come down. I was noticing that because earlier, I mean, it was looking like a damaging hail event. We were seeing, baseball-sized hail and potentially softball-sized hail. And Jason's looking at our hail detector right now, and the latest is showing just how quickly that hail core has really come down. The latest is showing that hail core approaching Highway 377, and right now, that hail nearly, not even really, it doesn't even look severe anymore at that point.
Hey, Cassie, let me ask you this question. As I'm sitting here looking at this, and we know these things cycle up and down as we've talked about. I mean, I haven't looked at any cap strength or what the position of the cap is since that 3 o'clock observation that we had. Do you think it is running into the cap here in the Metroplex?
I think it's definitely, we're going to be a little bit more stable over the Metroplex, especially just because of, we've already seen quite a few rain and thunderstorms throughout the day, so it's not as clean of an environment for the storms to just thrive on. It's definitely not showing that it's just going to be completely gone by any means, but you can see for yourself just how much this storm has come down, especially in size. It was taking up almost the whole county, but now it's nearly half of that. And I was looking at the Ville product, and that's going to be our storm strength product. I love looking at that because it really shows you just how big this storm was. It's still a strong storm. It's still technically severe. We still have a tornado warning technically on it, but you can see just how big this storm was. And now, yes, it's still strong, but the coverage of this storm is a lot lower now. So this is going to stay north of Crescent. The main part is, yeah, even that last scan, it's coming down significantly.